So first off, thanks everybody for being able to switch over. I didn't realize that I could get Debbie's computer login and Zoom login until it was already too late and we sent the messages out. So I know Debbie's not leading this, so it's kind of, I want you to think of it this way. It's kind of like when I went to see ZZ Top. I mean, that's back in the day when ZZ Top was the ultimate group, and I discovered Little River Band. So we might discover a nugget of truth out here. Hopefully we can kind of move through some things and make this beneficial to all. We'll try to end this because it's Eclipse Monday. We're going to try to end it promptly at about 7:31. So we'll see where that goes. Anyway, if I could, one of the things to start with, I know not everybody's in the area. Not everybody was able to make it to the event that we had this last Saturday. But I just wanted a real quick summary of that, real quick share. Maybe I know a couple of people were there that are in this meeting, but extremely beneficial when there's those local events. And if you don't have a local event from where you're at, just go ahead and start one. I know that Gary, where you're at, you're strong enough, you could pull an event together. But it was extremely beneficial in seeing, especially the people that were able to bring clients, and when they went through a section and were sharing on why they were able to not just lose 100 pounds, but why they were able to sustain a 100-pound weight loss for 1-2 years, sometimes even more. And they went around the room and shared community, 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 community. The community of support was something that can't be duplicated by any other program, by any other opportunity. And it just added so much credibility to the both to the coaches and to the program that we have. It was just fantastic. There was quite a few other, I think, strong points in there. One of the main things that I wanted to think about, though, is Matt, maybe you can jump in and share briefly for when we might be having the next event, and just in kind of getting prepared even in advance to have our guests invited so we can have a real strong turnout as people are thinking about coming out of the summer, out of the barbecue season, and jumping into some weight loss. Hang on just a sec, Matt. We've got to unmute you.
I got it.
Perfect.
So just to add a little bit to what Doug was saying, as they went around the room and they had everybody at one point, they started out and asked the question, who's lost 10 pounds or more? The whole room stands up. You know, it progressed from there to 20, and it got up to people that were 100 plus pounds. And they asked all of those people, to Doug's point, specifically what changed you. And there were a few other things, but the common denominator was they were part of a community where they all supported each other. It was cool. It was just cool to watch these people who had created this amazing health change in their life, this amazing new life. And it wasn't, nobody prompted or asked anybody what to say. It just started and happened. So the play out of that, there's a number of you on here that were there. The play out of that morning was, it was transparent. It was real. We talked about important stuff that changed lives. And at the end of it, everybody in that room went away, I think, with something of great significance. And it wasn't that they got a good presentation. It was that they actually went away with a heart change and with tools that will help them move their life forward. Out of that authenticity that took place that day, I can tell you, in this team here, 6 people raised their hand, not because somebody just asked them to do it. 6 people raised their hand and helped pay this gift forward that I'm aware of that morning. By that simple gathering of people spending a couple hours together, because they got to see it for what it was worth, and they got to see real life change just because their coach invited them to show up. It was pretty dang cool. So take that and pay that, and using these forums and these formats to really create an environment to really help people see who we are as a community really even lends more insight to the importance of bringing somebody to a community event. I can't begin to tell you, and I won't elaborate more on that. and than I have. And then, and I could, but I won't. And I'm going to turn this over because I'm going to have Christy just kind of cover and go right into the meat of today as it relates to 3x3, Doug, unless you have something else you want to add.
Nope, go ahead.
Got it, hon.
Okay, so back to the 3x3. We're kind of excited, and this is going to be your guys' turn to come on and share what you've experienced. But we're going to go back to the 3x3 as far as, let's revisit it. Friend 3 new people, right? And, one thing I found really easy is, and we talked about this a little bit last week, but those 3 people are, if I tag my husband, which hopefully you're starting to tag your spouses, because, that's sensitive, but let's just say maybe Lila. Lila's husband's new to Facebook. Why wouldn't we tag our spouse? We're on this journey together. So let's tag our spouses in Facebook when we put up some posts that seem very authentic. And then also go see who they saw and liked, because if they're liking something and it's one of our spouse's friends and it's not our friend, let's friend them. So that's one of your new friends. Would you agree, Matt?
I would.
Yeah. Matt has friends I've never even met before. And I'm like, who's Bob Zindervan? And he's like, oh, you don't know him? So, there's just something that might trigger something on our Facebook wall that wouldn't even trigger something on my dear husband's Facebook wall.
Well, and add to that, and if any of you saw anything coming through my feed this weekend, I didn't do a lot of social media posting myself because a lot of the guys I was with the last 5 days were doing it and they were tagging me in it. And a lot of that was going through my news feed. And I was able to pay attention to a lot of that and a lot of people that to add to this, I had, excuse me 1 second. I got to turn something off here. I had, out of those posts that other people were posting on my page from something I was participating in, and we talked about this, I just chose not to do anything. I'm doing it today and tagging them. Out of that, yesterday, I had somebody that I used to work with 20 years ago reach out and say, I need to talk to you tomorrow about Optavia. So using your husband's page and all of that interaction is huge. I mean, to include some others. So
yeah, and we know what the 3x3 is. So friend 3 new friends, which don't stop at 3. If you can think of 9 people that day, don't limit yourself, because the sky's the limit. Also, then 3 posts. And can I encourage you guys to make them authentic? Don't just slap up a before and after. I mean, maybe change the verbiage a little bit. We know that we need to be authentic as far as if you didn't coach them, you don't want to say you coached them, because that's not true. Find out, their story, and then also just say, how amazing is this? This is the program that changed my life. And make it about you too, because it truly did change your life. And if it didn't, it will in some other way, okay, as far as just helping people and reaching out to people. So remember that if you're getting one person is following you and watching you on Facebook. Why would you, if you already experienced what we've experienced, why would you leave them out of the loop? And then also, what was the third one? Start 3 conversations. So the other day, I can't remember, I was just asking Matt this morning, where were we where I think I asked 8 people to be their Facebook friends. And it was, some gal came up to me and she said, can I have your business card? And to me, that even sounds odd right now for people to even ask for that. Because it's like, well, they're going to look at the card maybe twice in their wallet and then throw it away 2 weeks later. Where Facebook's forever, you guys. Well, I don't know if it's forever. I'm thinking about going back to MySpace. Okay, is there anyone laughing right there right now? Because that's pretty funny. Okay, thanks, Ginger. Yeah, so Jay, are you thinking about going back to MySpace? So anyway, Facebook is key. And if you're not using it and you're still a little fearful, ask yourself why. Who are you afraid of? And what are you afraid of? Because you are helping people. So there's that.
Well, and just to add to that real quickly, so one day last week, I went rafting out here in Oregon. Most of you know where I'm at, and most of you are here. But out here in Oregon, I went rafting one day with a bunch of guys, and Nate Dog, as he called himself, was our rafting guide. You would have thought this was the craziest guy in the world. I mean, he was over the top crazy. And out of the blue, he started talking about his business to me and what he was doing. And he called me a life coach. I think what you life coaches do is pretty cool. And I smiled, I just let the conversation go. We talked more about his business. All of a sudden, I told him a little about ours. He goes, I'm with people every day in this raft that I get to talk to, and I have 4 to 6 hours of their time every day. He goes, I could do what you do. He already has the coaching thing down. So I friended him on Facebook. Christy friended the Uber driver on Friday or Saturday night. It just is crazy what we can do when we're just intentional towards that. So
back to the Uber driver. So I had an Uber driver bring me home from a restaurant because I was over the night before the training, and met her again Saturday. And we are meeting this week and had an amazing conversation. And she needs us. She needs the trilogy. She needs healthy finances. She needs to get her body healthy. And she has a new, her teenage son had a baby, and she's supporting that baby as a grandma. And her Uber job is her second job. And I got that out of a conversation in a 10-minute car ride. And what if her life changes? What if she's up on that stage next year, you guys, as a presidential? We don't know. So why are we keeping things a secret? Not that we are, but let's just share with everyone. And actually, I'm going to just real quickly. We were sitting on the boat last night with Doug Wood, and Matt and Doug were about to do a video. And if you guys haven't watched it, please go in the Synergy page and watch Doug Wood's and Matt's video. It's good.
Facebook page.
I'm sorry, on Facebook. And Doug is just fired up right now, and that his business was built on Facebook. So predominantly, they're not afraid to pick up the phone and call people. So that's all I got.
So I would like to hear from all of you today. I'd like you, if you have a story from this last week where social media sparked a conversation, or someone raised their hand that said, I want to become, I want to join your community and become a client, and asked for your assistance. Can you unmute yourself or just raise your hand on here, and we can see you, and we'll just say, hey, go, and raise your hand and share. Okay. Okay, Annie, go ahead and just unmute yourself.
I got it done.
Thanks.
Good morning. I shared with you guys a little bit about with the social media. That has always been something that was a little bit, I'd love to share positive things and everything, but when we were really starting that 3x3, worrying about what people thought and how are they going to see me because of all of this. But the people that have been responding, private messaging me, have been watching without ever liking or commenting, but then just messaging me, I need your help. I need this program. I need whatever you're doing. And I'm always blown away because I'm like, you've never even commented or liked anything, but I keep getting reminded, like you guys have said, they are watching us. So just the other day, or this last week, I had 3 people message, and one was a husband and wife, and she just said, we're ready. We're thriving in every area of our life but our health, and we need to move forward in our health. And they only made, if I looked at him or you looked at him, you would say, oh, they don't look like they need to lose weight. It wasn't about the weight, and they want to lose some weight, but it's really about overall health. And so they messaged me and joined our program. I just got them signed up. And then another gal who's on program referred a couple people to me, and I offered her the trilogy with, do you want to coach them, or you're going to end up being with them all the time, and they're going to be asking you because you have relationship with them. And that is what I started doing with my clients who refer people, is offer them the opportunity to coach them. And that's taking that step one step further, is which I was always afraid to do, was asking people if they wanted to coach, because I felt like, how are they going to receive that? but that's part of what we offer, is that trilogy. And because of that, 2 people have stepped forward and are coaching, because when they refer me somebody, I go back to them and offer them the opportunity to coach them as well.
Excellent. Great. So who else has a story? Okay. Well,
Hey, Doug, would you mind unmuting Jay McKinney real quick?
I can do that. Or Jay can do it before I find his name.
Hey, Jay, would you unmute yourself?
I got him. Okay, Jay.
Did that work?
Yeah. Jay, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I want to jump back into just Jay does consistently very good with all of his social media. And I want to tag in a little bit more back to the event on Saturday. So Jay has, like all of us, have clients that are successful and some that are he invited his clients to attend. 4 or 5 of them came Saturday. But so whatever the number was. But Jay, I want you to share with everybody what happened after you left the event on Saturday, Sunday with Rana, and what she did to you. What ended up happening with her posts and everything.
Yeah, so Rana is one of my first clients. She's still active. She signed up in January. She's probably 10 pounds from her goal weight. She literally can go nowhere without people stopping her. Nowhere. And I'm working on the coaching with her, but she's an incredibly busy person. But she posted on after the event. I think that night she gave me 5 referrals, 2 of which I've already followed up with, 2 of which I'm following up with this week. Actually 6, because then there's 2 more that we're working on setting an appointment for. She's just turning into an absolute referral machine. And for me, the 3x3, but taking a step back, for me, it's showing me the long game of this, the cyclical nature of when you invest in your team, how the payoff from a business standpoint might be 9 months later, but if you plan on still being a coach 9 months later, then it might as well be tomorrow, because it just all works around. So it's just been awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. You guys, I like social media. Now I have to tell you, and the reason I asked Jay to share was because his clients came out of their observations of what he was posting on social media. Because he posted on social media and was doing a 3x3 already prior to this training, even though Jay's in here, the play out of teaching and let others watching and seeing what you're doing, Rana's doing the same thing. Now there's a layering in there going on for her to assist those people as a coach, but the bottom line is she is changing Jay's business through social media. And every one of us have that same opportunity. So Doug, I'm going to be quiet here because I turn the agenda off for a second.
Okay.
And I'll mute myself.
I saw somebody else that had their hand up that wanted to share a story. If we can see who that was. Anybody raise their hand? Anybody else have a story that they wanted to share? Debbie, let's go ahead and unmute you and go ahead. Debbie Martin, did you raise your hand? Oh, okay. I'll mute you again.
Kim raised her hand, Doug.
What's that?
Kim raised her hand. Kim Gomez raised her hand.
Kim, I got you unmuted. You're ready to go.
Okay. So yeah, I had a friend that actually said, "Oh, I want to meet with you and catch up." So from something I posted on Facebook last week, and so we went to dinner Friday night, and it was not intended to be about Optavia or about what I was doing. It was really intended as a catch up, but we talked for maybe 15 minutes about our kids, and then all of a sudden she kind of went into asking me what I was doing and telling me I was looking great. And an hour later, she was very interested, and the next morning she texted me and said, "I'm in, what do I do?" So that started just as, just something social, but, turned into somebody who's now a client, and she's really excited. She read the first 7 chapters of the book the first night I loaned her
Wow.
one of my books, and she's just raring to go. But she grilled me with a lot of questions that first night about everything, but just is super excited. And she was just ready. She was already, wanting to get on that health journey, and was kind of set to do that, but just wanted some avenue to be able to do that. But so that one, and then I had several people that said, "What did you find? What are you doing?" from one of my posts. So I've been personal messaging them, and then I had one lady just kind of out of the blue just text me and say, "What did you do?" So I had quite a few responses from the posts that I put up last week.
Excellent. Good job.
Thank you, Kim.
Okay, so we got time, I think, for one more. If anybody else has their hand up that had something to share. If I don't see a hand up, okay. Oh, there we go. Ann Powell, I am going to unmute you, and you're good to go.
It's so funny. I went, why isn't he calling on me? And it's because I never raised my hand. I didn't know how to do it. I've never done it before. So it felt so goofy. But anyway, thank you for letting me share, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I have to give a shout out to my husband in regard to this sharing, because he's on social media a lot, and he actually connected with 2 young couples. It was actually
Uh-oh. It looks like we've lost your internet connection there. Okay. Well, we'll see if she comes back. Hopefully it's her, not my connection.
to connect with them, and let's meet at Alkebee's for coffee. And they immediately responded back. He didn't really say what he was meeting them for. He just said, let's connect at Alkebee's. And they both came. And so it was very exciting. And they were there Saturday. One of the husbands took notes like crazy. His wife, I sat by her, and she's super excited. The other couple are actually friends of Doug Wood, and they were there, and they're super excited. In fact, we're getting together soon. And so that's really exciting to do that. Social media works.
That's great. Thank you. Let's chat about. Hang on. We'll come back in here. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a little bit too much that I think I'm driving here. So let's talk for just a little bit about using our mentor as well for putting together some of our posts, just having a proof check, if we would, when we put together our own posts. It is beneficial to have an extra set of eyes on what we are posting. I know we got to experience that with one of our coaches this week, and just bringing a little bit different angles of copy to their post. And I kind of look at it like my days in publishing, where I'd write out what I wanted to accomplish on a particular project or book, and then I'd have a copywriter come in behind me, and man, they'd make it sound good. So I know that's the case a lot with how Matt and Christy are able to assist. They've got so much experience with this. Matt, Christy, do you have anything else that you wanted to share in relation to leaning into your mentor and putting your posts together and such like that?
Yeah, so the one thing that I really want to encourage you guys is, if you don't have a before and after, don't worry about it. Carla, hearts are sent out to you. I haven't been able to respond back to you, but she sent us a beautiful story. And everyone on this screen has a story. And please continue to share it. Don't think it's a once and done and that you shared your story once, but share help and hope. Don't share that you have a headache, that people aren't going to ask you to help them if they're not well. Are we frozen right now? I think. Okay. So, just reach out and.
Uh-oh. Looks like we've got some unstable internet connection there. We lost your voice. And
Doug, can you hear me?
Is there?
you're back in now. You faded out for a minute.
Okay. So did you hear about the before and afters and just reaching up to your mentorship to have them help you with it? We have to have a disclosure statement. It's always good to have the before first and the after last. And just know that when people are scrolling on Facebook, they go so fast. Make it it's a once and done, and as far as your before and after, because they're going to stop and go, oh my gosh, and they're going to go back through the thread and they're going to go, oh wow, look what Debbie Martin did. What is going on with Debbie Martin? And you know what? They'll read her words, but they're really going to see her picture. It's not even about the verbiage. So it doesn't have to be a long story, but if you don't have a before and after, put a great picture of you just doing something very like Carla. Carla's got great pictures. She could put up something of, with her family or paddleboarding or doing an activity that somebody would absolutely just want to lose weight to be able to do that. They want to do what Carla's doing with her children. So be authentic, be who you are, but you don't have to post your before and after once. Keep posting it and then changing your profile picture. And I would say twice a month, put your before and after back up, because people that weren't ready in July might be ready in September. People that weren't ready in January when they raised their hand and said they had these resolutions, those resolutions have all come and gone. They're ready again. And Joel, would you agree? I mean, how long did you watch Matt?
Yeah, I actually watched you guys for a couple of years.
Okay.
Matt, I knew 2 years ago in 2015 when we were at the Multnomah thing that you had something going, but I wasn't ready. But when I was ready, I just okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're all watching.
Yep, they are. They're watching and waiting.
And let me add this, you guys, to this conversation, to Doug's starting point. Look, it's no secret out there. Christy keeps an eye on all of social media. She does it on purpose. She watches what everybody does. And it's not to be an eagle eye it's all to help everybody improve. So I'm going to use Doug as the example, okay, in all of this. So Doug had this amazing post a week ago. The guy got almost 400 likes and almost 200 comments. Crazy. I mean, those are a rarity. So it happened. The guy put up the post, and not always do we have the luxury of helping someone put a post up that we're part of, okay? But if you can, with a client or even in your post, just if you know it's going to be significant, in the beginning when you're posting things, reach out to your mentor and say, what do you think? Because I'm telling you, there's subtle little soft skills involved in how you craft your words that cause the heart to be stirred by others. And it's not that you don't it's not that your post isn't good. It's let's do it in a way to help you get the best for those you're serving with the post. And over time and in a very simple way, it will move forward and you'll see all of this. But if you lean in, I lean in. When we're done here, I've got a call. And then after that, I've got a mentorship call to go over some stuff with my mentors because I need to raise my bar in the game.
Right. Yeah, Matt, if I could comment on that too. With Robert, and you guys saw his story a little bit, and the advice that I got is extremely good, especially for me knowing what to do for the next one. Because Robert, we didn't know if he was going to post until the day he did it. It's me and his wife then responding that encouraged him to make a statement out there to his friends, and they all supported him, and we saw that. But it was not worded in a way that I would like to. It kind of, because he had back pain, so it starts with his chiropractor and so forth, and then kind of leans into me and such. But for the next post, I will be asking him, which is when he breaks the 300-pound barrier, which he messaged me again this morning. He's still losing 3 to 4 pounds per week. So it's predictable with when he'll hit that. For that one, based on Matt's comments and suggestions, I'll ask him if we could talk about his post beforehand and how to do it. And I know he will do that. He's already stated that he wants to raise his hand to become a coach. but he wants to get through another 50 pounds plus before he gets there. So those are pretty cool, and I've got quite a few clients, potentials that have happened from that. I want to bridge into that with one other thing, because a lot of people right now are working and putting a lot of effort, I know, into their Facebook work and what they're doing. And some have seen great response. Some haven't seen a lot of response yet. I just want to encourage people with the law of momentum. Anybody that's been coaching for a while and has stayed consistent in actions has seen how it builds. Sometimes it doesn't build quickly, but it does come back. And like Joel just said with you guys, he watched you for several years before, a couple of years before he wound up saying, okay, now I'm ready. Robert was 18 months approximately before he said, I'm ready. We signed on 3 people this last week that were from 2013 that came back. So the principle of momentum is just something to consider. Keep doing these actions. Make sure that you're ready to go, that you're good in the skill sets, and it all will come around for you. So maybe Matt, Christy, do you guys want to talk about what skills we want to execute for this next week? Anything kind of on some assignments and such?
So I want to just see a raise of hands of how many people, Debbie asked us all to jump in and do this. How many people went live this last week?
Awesome. There's a lot of hands up.
Awesome. So I can't begin to tell you guys to venture out there. And if you're nervous about how to push the buttons and make it all happen, a live video doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, perfect is the last thing you want to be. Okay. I'm actually going to do a live later on my own personal Facebook page. And I'm going to do it on generosity. And I'm doing it on generosity because I went to church yesterday at Abundant Life and got to hear George preach on generosity. And George poked all of the people in the church and said, at one point, you're all thinking potentially, I just want you to tithe more. Probably some truth in that. But he took that and he said, what about the generosity of time that you have to give to others that maybe have a need? And he walked through different areas of generosity. And it struck me yesterday, the message really struck me yesterday. And because of that, I'm going to do a little post on generosity. That's it. Just to talk about generosity and how we can touch someone else's life through being generous. And I may close it up at the end and say, might want to just think in terms of your health, and maybe to your husband or to a friend or somebody, you may just want to be generous enough to have a conversation with someone and pay something forward to someone because you love them that much. Don't know if I will, but I'm going to stay on that theme. So if you're hesitant about going live, I want to ask all of you, and I'm going to keep going here, get on and go live once in a while. You will change your audience. It hits your whole news feed. And the second thing is I would like everybody you don't have to, but if you want to, go in and update your profile once or twice this week. Find something cool and update your profile, because that's going to hit everybody in your news feed when you update your profile. It's a very simple thing to do. Carla, I want you to unmute if you wouldn't mind for a second, because you posted a question on here that everyone can see, that asks, what about friends who like your before and after photos? What do you do? And why don't you just elaborate a little bit more on that before we get off the training here this morning, if you wouldn't mind. Doug, if you want to unmute Carla, that'd be great.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah, I asked that question because, I've been posting things and my posts are public. So I'll have people or dislike it that I don't even know. And I'll look to see who they're friends with, and they're friends with a friend. And, so I don't know where to start that with them. And do I just, I've friended like 2 of them. I've tried that, and they haven't accepted that friend request.
So So
Anyway,
great,
that's my
that's a
question.
great question when a friend of a friend who really isn't your friend comes in because they saw the post and liked it, right? That's your question. So I use this, and I think it went up a couple of weeks ago. When I see somebody, and I don't know, I don't always catch these, but if I'm watching and I see some consistency out there and people liking things, or if it's somebody unique in somebody else's friend group that I'm not friends with, and I see them like a post, I'll come in and just use my line. Thank you so much for liking this post. It means a lot. Someone else who's watching this that's interested in changing their health, your light may have affected them to move forward. Thank you so much. End of story. And whether they respond or not really isn't important. What you did was honor them. They may not know you. You simply were gracious towards them for actually doing a like. You never know what's going to happen by doing something simple. Go ahead, Carla.
So, if you are not friends with them, they won't receive your messenger. Isn't that right?
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's true, Carla. It's 100% true. I know that to be true. So you know what though? They'll get a ping that you're reaching out to them.
Okay.
Right, Annie? Am I right? Thank you.
Okay, so we got different sets of skill set here, and so I could be off on this, but I've reached out to people, and you can actually send a message. It isn't that they'll see it, but you can send a message to them, and if you send the message and they go look at their messenger, they can see that message is there.
Yeah, that's the same message.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how I go about it with people come in. Okay.
Okay, Matt, we ready to wrap this up so we can get people off to their day?
So task one live at least this week. And if you need help with it, please reach out for it, and then update your profile a couple times, and keep doing your 3x3x3s every day, and hang on, everybody, because if I close this up, fastest new client growth ever this month, ever.
And coach, I think.
And coach growth, new coaches and new clients this month. We're approaching in the entire team synergy over 20 plus coaches, new coaches this month, and over 100 plus clients right now with 10 days left to go.
And it's because of what you guys here today are doing. And I can't wait in December to hear your guys' stories, because you're planting seeds. And like Joel that watched us 2 years ago and, you know, is now, I mean, who would have ever thought that Joel would be here this morning at 7:00 on the Zoom with us? Right. So anyway, you guys
be real,
be patient,
be real, be consistent, do the 3 and 3, and you will be honored for people that will cross your lives by being consistent. Thanks all for your time. Doug, thank you for coordinating this so well today. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. We'll have Dynamic Debbie back next week. All right. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.